Yeah. Sure.
Outside of 10.
Mhm.
Recording in progress.
Mhm.
We're back up.
All right. So, I was looking around while developing the curriculum, and remember most weekends we headed to Lexington for faculty meeting and teaching. Actually, that's when I first met Doug Scutchfield at the first faculty meeting I went to. Was in a small conference room that was quite crowded, I remember, people sitting around. I was sort of introduced to this group and then sat there as Beninson led the meeting. And I don't remember what the issue was. There's always some contention at faculty meetings, I guess. But there was discussion going back and forth about what to do about something. And suddenly this big redhead in the back stood up and he said, "Well, now," he said, "I've got to leap into the fray." And it was Scutch. I had met him and shook his hand, but hadn't spoken with him until that memory just stuck with me. It's quintessential Scutch, standing up and inserting himself into what was going on. He was at that point another field professor of community medicine in the same department. So I got to know him, as you know, much better as time went on because we had similar issues that we were dealing with. Then I don't remember how long it was, probably 3 or 4 or 5 months that we were there when
What was the project that you chose to work on?
That's what I'm getting to.
Oh, okay.
4 or 5 months, whatever it was, a call came from a Mr. Charles White, said he wanted to talk with me. And of course, I was open to that. The other thing I was doing was trying to ingratiate myself with a local medical society and trying to get to know the physicians in town. It didn't take them long to decide they had no idea what I was doing there. Matter of fact, the president of the medical society at the time called me, only half kiddingly, the long-haired hippie doctor who didn't want to make money. They couldn't understand why I wouldn't be in practice raking the bucks and instead was taking a salary and doing this, whatever it was I was doing with the medical school. So Charles White came to see me, and he's a tall, good-looking Hazard native, fairly young. I think he's probably a little younger than me, probably his mid-30s at that point. Early 30s, probably. I was very early. We were about the same age, I guess. Charles was always had a big smile on his face, and he sat down and he said, "I want you to link up with me." And so I was curious about that, and he said, "I'm the administrator for the local health department, and our director is an elderly physician who is retiring, and we need a director." And he said, "I think you're the kind of person we should have." Now, he didn't know that much about me, but he was one of the first to see that a connection with a medical school might be a good thing. We talked about it some, and as we talked, we thought, well, this was a very small county health department that was part of a state region. Kentucky had divided itself up into more than a dozen regions, linking counties together, and there were 8 counties in this particular region, but they were only somewhat collaborative, and the state health department was trying to incentivize these small local health departments to come together and form larger health departments, or what they call district health departments. And Charles had this thought that with connection with the medical school, that we just might be able to convince some of them to do this.
Okay, we're going to reset.
Mm-hmm.
Recording stopped.